2002, three American friends went on a sailing trip in the Gulf of Mexico. During that journey, one of them went below deck and returned holding a pair of black foam shoes in his hands. There was a bright spark in his eyes, as if he had discovered a massive treasure, but his friends could not control their laughter. They said those shoes looked incredibly strange and ugly. At that moment out in the middle of the ocean, no one could have ever imagined one thing. They had no idea that one day the President of the United States himself would wear these mysterious shoes. Nobody thought that these very shoes would eventually turn into a company worth $4.5 billion. This is the story of the Crocs Company. At that time, life was at a terrible low point for Duke Hansen, who was living in America. After working hard for many years in the fields of sales and management, he lost his job. His wife had applied for divorce, and his mother had passed away due to cancer. Just when he felt there was no hope left in life, he received a call from two of his old friends, Scott Siemens and George Butt. The three of them had studied together at the University of Colorado. To cheer Duke up and change his mood, Scott and George planned a boating trip in the Gulf of Mexico. That small trip completely changed their lives. In the summer of 2002, these three friends began their journey on a boat. The boat's captain, Ron Elwork, was right there with them. The boat belonged to 48-year-old Scott Siemens. Since childhood, Scott had a mindset of always thinking outside the box. Whenever he saw a new object, he would immediately dismantle and modify it. At the age of 27, he had started a company that manufactured professional photography equipment and medical devices, which he sold a few years later to walk away with excellent profits. During his travels, he came to know about a Canadian company called Foam Creations. They used a material called cross-light and injection molding technology to manufacture cushions, pillows, and kayak seats. A few years prior, that company had casually created a shoe as well. But those shoes were only sold in Quebec City, Canada. When Scott tried those shoes, he understood that there would be a massive demand for them in the future. He immediately bought a few pairs of shoes and, true to his habit, started modifying them. He punched holes on both sides of the shoes and attached a heel strap made of the same material. During that boating trip, Scott showed these shoes to Duke and George. They were black foam shoes with holes resembling Swiss cheese and a sponge-like back shaped like a caterpillar. The moment they saw them, the boat went dead silent for a second. After that, the two friends couldn't stop laughing hysterically. They looked absolutely ridiculous. However, after wearing those shoes for a few days, they were completely astonished. The shoe weighed a mere 170 grams, 2 to 3 times lighter than regular shoes. It was made of the material called cross-light, which possessed an incredible feature. After wearing it for a while, the material would soften due to body temperature and mold itself perfectly to the shape and size of the feet. That made it exceptionally comfortable to wear. Furthermore, cross-light is a closed-cell foam material, meaning nothing happens to the shoes. Even if they get wet in water, they dry out instantly. Unlike leather or fabric shoes, these did not emit any foul odor. Most importantly, it offered an incredibly strong, non-slip grip, even on wet surfaces, making it the perfect shoe for boat decks, beaches, and pool decks. After returning from the trip, the three friends came to a decision. They felt these shoes were highly unique and that they should definitely turn them into a business. They immediately started a startup. George Bodeker became the CEO because he was already running more than 100 Domino's franchises and was also working as a top executive at Cuisinart. He had immense experience in running companies. At the same time, he was ready to become the first major investor in this new shoe business. Following this, Scott Siemens was given the responsibility of product development, while Duke Hansen took charge of operations. They met many venture capitalists for funding, but everyone rejected them the moment they saw the shoe. With that, they started pooling money from wherever they could. George's father, who was a bodybuilder, was among their first investors, along with a few of their friends. Their business plan was very simple. In November 2002, the world's largest in-water boat show was taking place in Florida. They estimated that thousands of boating enthusiasts would attend, making it the perfect time to launch this new boat shoe. They set up a stall there and displayed their foam shoes, naming them the Beach. The crowd's reaction was exactly what they had anticipated. People laughed at the shoes and commented that they looked hideous. But an interesting thing happened. Here no one could ignore those bizarre-looking shoes. In fact, such a massive crowd gathered in front of their stall that the entire pathway got blocked. Fire marshals had to step in and personally make announcements over a megaphone to control the rush. That was when the founders realized something profound. The ugly appearance of the shoes was not their weakness, but rather their main marketing strategy. Every time someone stopped by the stall, they were handed a pair and asked to just try them on. Once people put them on, they became instant fans of the comfort and features. To add to that, the price was just $30, which was far lower than regular boating shoes. Through that single boat show alone, they sold 1,000 pairs of shoes, proving that there was genuine demand for their product in the market. At the same time, the founders noticed some fascinating similarities between their shoes and crocodiles. Just like crocodiles, their shoes were perfectly comfortable both in water and on land. A crocodile's skin keeps it incredibly tough. Similarly, the cross-light material gave this shoe great strength and durability. Crocodiles live for many decades. These shoes were also designed to last a very long time. Above all, due to its shape and holes, the shoe looked exactly like a crocodile's head. That is why they named the shoe Crocs, a short form of the word crocodile. Its logo and mascot became a smiling crocodile face, and their very first tagline was "Get a grip." By 2003, their first full year, they sold a staggering 76,000 pairs of shoes, achieving $1.2 million in revenue. The Crocs journey was gaining massive momentum, but compared to the world's top footwear brands, Crocs was still just a tiny name. That was when Ron Snyder entered the story. He became a powerful fuel for the Crocs rocket. Ron was a retired entrepreneur who had already built and sold a multi-billion-dollar company. He joined Crocs as an advisor in 2004 and gave the founders a piece of advice consisting of just 2 words: think big. The founders realized that until then, they were operating merely as middlemen. The formula and technology to manufacture Crocs still belonged to the Canadian company Foam Creations. Therefore, they acquired Foam Creations in a $5.2 million deal. Alongside this, they began launching Crocs in new colors and introduced different models with minor modifications. Very quickly, the Crocs market began to expand. Nurses and medical staff, who had to stand on duty for 12 hours, found Crocs to be incredibly comfortable. The backstrap secured them firmly to their feet. They were extremely easy to clean, and they provided excellent grip on hospital floors. In hot kitchen environments, the holes provided great relief to cooks and chefs, and the grip remained excellent even on floors made greasy by spilled oil. By the end of 2004, their revenue reached $13.5 million. Seeing these results, Ron Snyder was made the CEO of Crocs in January 2005. A few years later, the 3 founders handed over the complete responsibilities of the company to professional management and retired one by one. As soon as Snyder took charge, he introduced numerous new models. They also launched Crocs' very first marketing campaign titled "Ugly Can Be Beautiful." In 2006, Crocs went public. As soon as trading began, its market cap touched a whopping $1.15 billion, raising around $208 million in funds. It created a record as the largest footwear IPO in American history. The 3 founders became multimillionaires. But the story that surprised everyone was that of the boat captain, Ronald. The same Ronald Work who was the captain during their boating trip now had a net worth exceeding $10 million, because he had also invested in Crocs in the early days. The following year brought even more spectacular success for Crocs. The company's revenue skyrocketed to $847 million. By the end of 2007, the company had grew to 5,300 employees. Furthermore, US President George W. Bush appearing in public wearing Crocs surprised everyone. Crocs had, in a way, reached its absolute peak. But right there, a problem began. What Crocs thought was a mountain peak was actually the edge of a cliff, and a terrifying downfall was waiting for them. By 2007, Crocs had started selling golf shoes, flip-flops, dress loafers, boots, sneakers, rain boots, backpacks, sunglasses, and clothes. Under the name You Buy Crocs, they even introduced a luxury fashion line for women, selling high heels priced at $280, with bizarre names like Lacy, Rocker, Dangerous, Diva, and Impossible Girl. However, people showed absolutely no interest in buying luxury heels from a company known for basic foam shoes, launching 250 different models globally, opening hundreds of retail stores, and promising massive growth to investors left Crocs with no room to slow down. Their factories kept manufacturing products at a rapid pace without stopping, but customers stopped buying them just as fast. As a result, By the end of 2008, the value of unsold inventory reached $240 million. Meaning nearly 30 million pairs of shoes were left rotting in warehouses. But this was just the beginning of their troubles. Generally, many brands fail because they aren't visible enough to people. But Crocs failed because it became asterisk to asterisk visible. No matter where you looked, Crocs products were everywhere: shoe stores, sports stores, department stores, 7-Eleven outlets, airports, and so on. Seeing the same Crocs everywhere, from the US president to a gardener, and from a grandmother to grandchildren, people grew bored of them. Two young guys from Canada even created a website called ihatcrocs.com with the tagline dedicated to the elimination of Crocs. They wrapped firecrackers around Crocs and blew them up, cut them with scissors, and ultimately sold over 1,000. Eventually, Time magazine included Crocs in its list of the 50 worst inventions, as Crocs was somehow managing these issues. An event occurred in 2008 that completely shattered them. The 2008's global financial crisis, the same company that had earned a profit of $168 million. The previous year suffered a staggering loss of $185 million that year. A company valued at thousands of crores earlier plummeted drastically in worth. In 2009, Crocs' external auditors, Deloitte, issued a report stating that it would be difficult for Crocs to survive as a going concern. Simply put, the company could shut down at any moment. But what happened next turned into one of the most iconic comebacks in business history. For the next few years, Crocs continued to run in losses. Just when it seemed there was no hope left, Blackstone stepped in. Blackstone is one of the largest private equity firms in the world. They noticed something in Crocs that the rest of the world couldn't see. They believed Crocs was still a global brand that could be revived. They invested $200 million, giving the company a crucial lifeline. At the same time, Andrew Rees, a top management consultant, was given the responsibility of putting Crocs back on track. He later became the CEO at Rees, spent months deeply analyzing every product line, the profitability of every store, and the company's business model. What he discovered shocked everyone. He found that the original classic Crocs, the very product upon which the entire company was built, contributed only 16% of the company's revenue. The company had sidelined its hero product and was acting as if it was ashamed of it. According to Rees, the original Crocs were their true identity. Decode. He shut down all other ventures one by one and refocused entirely on the original classic Crocs. By 2018, the classic Crocs made a grand comeback, accounting for 52% of the company's total sales. Alongside this, they closed around 160 loss-making stores. Finally, they shut down all their internal factories and outsourced all production to contract manufacturers in countries like Vietnam and China. Rees learned this strategy from Nike, which doesn't manufacture its own shoes but handles only design and marketing. This asset-light model saves a massive amount of money, and it brought Nike great profits in a short period. During this time, CEO Andrew Rees noticed another detail. Every pair of classic Crocs has 26 holes. He calculated that if someone buys a $50 pair of Crocs and buys a $5 Gibbets charm for each hole, the company makes an additional $130 in profit. But Gibbets charms weren't just a profit-making opportunity. In Rees's view, Crocs were like a blank canvas. Customers could express their personalities and interests using various Gibbets. Consequently, he decided to collaborate with top global brands to launch exclusive, limited edition Crocs with custom Gibbets. In 2018, they partnered with popular rapper Post Malone to launch a limited Crocs line priced at $60. The entire stock sold out in just 10 minutes. Right around that time, COVID-19 struck the world. Like all other industries, the footwear industry began to decline. But something unbelievable happened with Crocs. Instead of falling, Crocs sales skyrocketed because they were the perfect stay-at-home shoe during the pandemic. Being highly comfortable to wear around the house all day during lockdowns boosted their sales tremendously. At the same time, along with the virus, something else was spreading rapidly. Short-form content. Gen Z youth, without Crocs, doing much heavy lifting, began showcasing their creativity with making TikTok videos and gaining massive followings. For all of them, Crocs became a symbol of a new, trendy style. As you can see, the story of Crocs is not just about business. It serves as a great lesson for our personal lives too. Whenever someone tells you that your time is up and you are finished, tell them it's not over yet, and that there is still a long way to go. because you never know when life will surprise you with a miracle. If you liked this video, please like and share it. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, subscribe right now and click on the bell icon next to it. Let's meet again in the next video. Thanks for watching.